Why do you lose battles you never even fought? Why does your loyalty get used, your honesty become weakness, and your transparency turn into chains? Today, we expose the single fatal flaw that destroys kings, leaders, and even common men, the mistake of revealing too much. In a world where knowledge is power, silence becomes the ultimate weapon. Power is not always taken. Sometimes it's surrendered through careless words, emotional outbursts, and confessions dressed as conversations. You think you're being honest, transparent, real, but in reality, you're being predictable, and predictability is the first sign of weakness. A man who speaks too much reveals not only his thoughts, but his vulnerabilities, his fears, and worst of all, his intentions. And intentions are the currency of control. Once others know what you want, they know how to deny it to you. They know how to block you, break you, manipulate you. Look closely at history. The kings who reigned the longest weren't the loudest. They were the quiet architects behind the throne, the ones whose expressions never betrayed them, whose lips moved only when necessary, whose silence made entire rooms uneasy. Silence is not absence. It's presence in its most threatening form. When you walk into a room and say nothing, you shift the power dynamic instantly. The loudest man now looks foolish, explaining himself to someone who hasn't even asked a question. The eager man exposes his cards, hoping to impress you, while you sit back watching, learning, taking mental notes. Because that's what silence gives you, intel. When you're silent, people rush to fill the space. They talk too much. They over-explain. They tell you who they are, what they fear, what they want, and they don't even realize they're handing you ammunition. You, on the other hand, hand them nothing. The more silent you are, the more others will project onto you. They'll guess your thoughts, your motives, your emotions, and in their guessing, they reveal more about themselves than you ever could. They'll expose their insecurities, their ambitions, their betrayals, all in the name of decoding your silence. In that silence, you become a mirror, a void where people see their own reflection. Some will fear you, others will respect you, all will be intrigued. Now think about this. How often do people try to provoke you just to see what's inside you? They'll poke at your pride, insult your intelligence, question your loyalty not because they care about your answers, but because they want access. They want to see if you're as calm as you appear. They want to find your limits. They want you to lose control. And the moment you respond emotionally, the moment you try to justify, defend, or retaliate, they win. You've given them a glimpse inside your fortress. They know what angers you, what wounds you, what shakes you, but if you say nothing, you remain untouchable. Let them wonder, let them doubt, let them exhaust themselves trying to provoke a reaction you never give. Their noise becomes their weakness. Your silence becomes your sword, because silence isn't emptiness, it's strategy, it's armor, it's power concentrated, and the man who learns to weaponize his silence controls the battlefield without drawing a blade. Every man is born with a face, but not every man learns to wear a mask. And in this world, a world ruled not by truth, but by perception, the man without a mask is already at war without armor. The truth is a weapon, but not when it's revealed. Only when it's hidden, controlled, and released at the perfect moment. If you walk through life wearing your emotions, your opinions, your desires openly, you are an easy target. You've given the world a blueprint of how to manipulate you. You've made yourself a puppet in your own story. You've made it too easy to be read, too easy to be used. The strategic man never shows his real face. He adapts to the room he's in. He wears calm in the middle of rage. He wears confusion in the middle of certainty. He wears weakness when he's at full strength. And when he's bleeding, he wears a smile. Why? Because the mask is control. Not of yourself, but of everyone around you. People are obsessed with reading others. They want to know your angle, your motive, your nature. They want to feel smarter than you. So let them believe they've figured you out, while you operate 10 steps ahead behind the mask they're trying to decode. To be underestimated is a gift. Let them assume you're simple, naive, passive. Let them mistake silence for ignorance. Let them think you're harmless while you study every weakness in their strategy, every crack in their ego, every flaw in their pride, and when the time comes, you strike not as the man they thought you were, but as the force they never saw coming. You must become a shapeshifter, not out of cowardice, but out of wisdom. Be the friend in the room full of enemies. Be the student while you secretly play the teacher. Be the fool who listens while you quietly dismantle every lie you hear. Machiavelli once said that a prince must learn how not to be good, but more importantly, he must learn when to appear good, appear virtuous, appear kind, appear sincere, because appearances are the only truth that weak minds understand. They won't remember what you said. They'll remember how you made them feel. And if your mask gives them comfort, flattery, admiration, they'll hand you power without ever realizing it. Even loyalty can be extracted through illusion. People will fight for you, defend you, even die for you if you show them the mask they want to see, and behind that mask, you operate with cold, calculated intent. Behind that mask, you are no longer emotional, reactive, or vulnerable. You are untouchable. Because you're not offering your soul to the world, you're offering a performance. And the one who controls the performance controls the outcome. People don't fear the known, they fear the unknown. They don't obsess over what you tell them, they obsess over what you don't. And if you understand this, truly understand it, you will never need to shout to gain power. You will simply withhold and watch them bend. You are taught to communicate, to share, to be transparent, as if spilling your inner world makes you stronger. It doesn't. It makes you vulnerable, predictable, weak. Because once people understand you, they begin to measure you. They create limits around you. They no longer ask, what is he capable of? They say, I know what he'll do next. But when you withhold, when you speak in riddles, when you leave gaps in your story, when you give half an answer with a calm smile, you create tension, and tension is control. They'll fill in the blanks with fear, with respect, with fantasy. The mind craves certainty, it feeds on resolution, it cannot tolerate unanswered questions. So when you become the unanswered question, they are forced to think about you, analyze you, obsess over you, even admire you, not because of what they know, but because of what they can never quite grasp. This is how legends are built, not from full disclosure, but from the fog of mystery. If they know your values, they'll know how to test them. If they know your plan, they'll know how to stop it. If they know your desire, they'll know how to manipulate it. But if you say nothing, if you smile and nod, while keeping the real strategy locked behind your eyes, you become untouchable. Let them wonder if you're a friend or a threat. Let them guess whether you're 2 moves ahead or 10. Let them speak on your behalf, filling the silence with their own assumptions you never confirm, never deny. In their desperation for answers, they expose themselves, and in your silence, you extract the truth. People talk more in the presence of mystery. They reveal their hand just to see if it matches yours. They confess secrets hoping you'll share yours. They hand over their thoughts like currency, hoping you'll do the same, but you don't, because silence is not just protection, it's bait, and when used with precision, it becomes the greatest trap. You are not obligated to explain yourself. You are not required to be understood. The more they misunderstand you, the more you control the narrative, because the narrative is not what's true, it's what's believed. And people don't believe facts, they believe feelings. Give them space to feel something. Not through your words, but through your absence of them. That absence will echo louder than anything you could have said. And in that echo, you'll find influence. In that mystery, you'll find loyalty. In that void, you'll find power. They told you to speak your mind, to stand up for yourself, to never let anyone walk over you. But they never told you that reacting is submission, that outrage is a leash, that showing your wound is handing your enemy the knife again. When you lash out, you declare that you've been touched, that something got under your skin, that someone affected you. And the moment they know they've affected you, they know they control you. Restraint is not weakness. It's the highest form of dominance. The one who resists his anger controls it. The one who controls his anger uses it, not immediately, not recklessly, but with precision when the damage will be irreversible. Revenge is not an explosion. It's erosion, slow, silent, and unseen. You don't tell them what you'll do. You don't announce your comeback. You don't show the world how deeply you've been wronged, because the moment you reveal the wound, you invite vultures, They will circle you, not to help but to feed. They'll comfort you with words while taking notes on your weakness, but when you say nothing, when you act unfazed, when you disappear into silence, you terrify them, because silence after betrayal is not peace. It's planning. They expected rage, they expected tears, they expected a show, but you gave them a void, and that void becomes their paranoia. They start to imagine your retaliation. They build nightmares around your quietness. They wonder if you've forgiven them or if you're waiting for the perfect moment to strike. And that wondering is far more painful than any insult you could have thrown. Machiavelli understood this better than anyone. The greatest power isn't in confronting your enemy, it's in letting them breathe while they know the air is running out. True vengeance is not about justice. It's about making sure they never feel safe again. You don't need to defend your name. Let time do that. You don't need to clap back. Let your silence crush their ego. You don't need to threaten. Let your restraint imply danger more convincingly than any threat could. Because when you hold back, you hold power. The enemy who knows you will wait is afraid of you. The one who knows you won't forget is already haunted. The one who knows you saw everything but said nothing is already defeated, not because you attacked, but because you didn't. You become a question they can't answer, a storm they can't see, a consequence they can't calculate. They realize you are no longer reacting, you are observing, you are storing, you are designing, and while they think you've moved on, you are only moving pieces, quietly, ruthlessly, relentlessly. You are told that openness builds trust, that honesty is noble, that transparency is strength. But in the real world, the world of power, betrayal, strategy, the one who reveals nothing, controlled everything, because when they don't know your next move, they can't block it. When they don't know what you feel, they can't use it. When they don't know who you truly are, they can't destroy you. Let them talk. Let them chase attention. Let them drown in their need to be understood. You stay silent, wear the mask, play the fool, let them think you've shown your hand, all while you study theirs, and when the time is right. You don't explain, you don't justify, you don't warn, you act. This is not just silence. This is power in its purest form. Reveal nothing. Win everything.